Hi, I'm Kayla Christensen and I'm a lawyer with Robertson Heights working in the employment law team. In my last video, I talked about when you can make an application for unfair dismissal to the Fair Work Commission and what makes a dismissal unfair. Today I will be focusing on who is eligible to make a claim. Firstly, to be eligible to make a claim, you generally need to submit your application to the Fair Work Commission within 21 days of the date of your dismissal, which starts after the day you were dismissed. Having said that, the Commission may allow you to submit an application out of time if there are exceptional circumstances as to why you missed the 21-day deadline. Whether the Fair Work Commission will accept a late application is completely at its discretion and will be based on things like the strength of your claim, whether you have a good excuse for lodging out of time. For example, you may have been in the hospital, or maybe you genuinely didn't know that you had been dismissed until the 21-day deadline was up. They will also consider the effect on your former employer if your claim proceeds. For example, if your former employer will be inconvenienced because they have already replaced you with a new employee, and the Commission will also consider anything else that's relevant in the circumstances. In our experience though, the Commission is usually pretty strict and generally won't accept late applications, so it's really important that you get your application in on time. So, you have been dismissed, you think you were dismissed unfairly, and you are ready to put your application in within 21 days. The next thing you need to work out is whether you are actually eligible to make an application. To be eligible to make an unfair dismissal claim, you must have been dismissed by your employer. If you have voluntarily resigned from your work, you generally cannot claim unfair dismissal. You must also be a national systems employee. This includes pretty much all employees in Victoria, with a few small exceptions. It's worth getting advice on this if you're unsure. You need to have also been continuously employed for at least 6 months or 12 months if your former employer is a small business. And you must earn less than the high income threshold, which is currently set at $153,600 excluding superannuation. If you earn more than this, you may still be eligible to make a claim if your employment is covered by an award or an enterprise agreement. If you are a casual employee, you generally cannot make an unfair dismissal claim unless you have been employed on a regular and systematic basis for at least 6 months or 12 months in the case of small business employers, and you must have a reasonable expectation of continuing employment with your employer. If you are a casual employee, it may be worth seeking legal advice to understand whether you may be eligible to make a claim. There are other reasons that you may not be eligible to make a claim, and these include if you are a contractor, if you resigned from your employment and you weren't forced to do so. You also won't be eligible if you're employed under a fixed term contract or a fixed term training arrangement and you were dismissed when this ended, and you won't be eligible if you were demoted and you remain employed by your employer, provided that there wasn't any significant reduction in your pay or duties. If you make an unfair dismissal claim and you are not actually eligible to do so, your former employer may lodge what's called a jurisdictional objection with the Fair Work Commission. If this happens, your former employer will ask the Commission to dismiss your application on the grounds that it doesn't have the power to deal with your claim. So if the jurisdictional objection is accepted, your claim will be dismissed. So it's worth understanding whether you are eligible before making a claim. If you are unsure whether you may be eligible, please feel free to give me a call so we can have a no obligation chat about your situation. Please join me next time for part 3 of our video series, where we'll be discussing the process and what happens once an unfair dismissal claim has been made. Thank you.